Welcome to Greensboro, North Carolina for the Division III Women's Soccer National Championship. For the first time since 1996, two state institutions will face off on the pitch for a national title. It's the College of New Jersey Lions, who enter at 21-0-2, taking on the Christopher Newport Captains, who are 21-0-1. The Lions clinched their 8th national appearance game in the semifinals thanks to a goal late against Wesleyan. That's your Captains who had the brilliant finish in overtime. Riley Cook in the 3rd minute against Loris with a beautiful finish. And here's how the Lions got here. Thanks to Julia Opp's great header, finding the opposite corner and clinching their chance here. I'm Dave McHugh alongside Ira Thor. This is a highly anticipated matchup with the two programs who have been working to get here to this moment for quite a few years. As we mentioned, Captains, their first ever visit. Lions have been to the national championship before. This is their 8th opportunity, but it's been a little bit of some time, Ira.
And not only two teams that have worked towards this moment, Dave, but two teams that had to overcome a lot of adversity yesterday after being outplayed in the first halves against two teams who had never been here on this stage before. As you mentioned, the Captains needed overtime to beat Loris and were outplayed by them in the first half. And meanwhile, Wesleyan dominated TCNJ in the first half yesterday before the Lions made some adjustments at halftime that clearly paid off as they scored in the 65th minute, and their defense did the rest from there.
TCNJ is in the road blues. They're going to open up the kick here. Got the navy blue uniforms with the white numbers and trim, navy blue shorts and navy blue socks. They'll be defending the left-hand goal, attacking to the right. Captains of Christopher Newport are in the home whites. The jerseys actually have a bit of gray on the shoulders, fading into a white shorts, white socks, with royal blue numbers and trim. As we are underway, we'll get you starters here in a moment for both teams. Again, two state institutions, first time since 1996. The other thing that will be eliminated in this game is the fact that we will have our first state champion in women's soccer since 2003. In fact, we haven't even had a state institution, public institution, in this game since 2006. As TCNJ threatening early, and an early shot got off the side of the foot there, off of the feed initially from Gianna Coppola. As early action for starting goalkeeper for the Captains, Haley Iser, and gives us a chance. We'll start with TCNJ's starters. Freshman defender number 5 at 5'3", it's Ava Curtis out of Hillsborough, North Carolina. New Jersey. She is the Njac Rookie of the Year and first team honor. She is joined by her sister, number 8, senior midfielder and forward, Amelia Curtis, who stands at 5'7", was also a first team all Njac selection as the Lions continue to threaten early here against the Captains. No call there. Number 9, junior forward Ava Gary, the Rahway, New Jersey native at 5'5". At 5'2", it's a sophomore forward, number 10, Sophie Vieira from Cedar Knolls, New Jersey, as the Captains switch fields here, but gets stopped at the top of the 18. Number 11, junior midfielder Gianna Coppola, who you just saw a moment ago, Montville, New Jersey, native at 5'7". She was the Njac midfielder of the year and first team honoree. Senior defender number 13, Jess Hall, Chester, New Jersey, native at 5'8", was the Njac defensive player of the year and first team honoree. Julia Ops, who got the game winner yesterday from Hopewell, New Jersey, is a 5'3" senior wearing number 19. Emma Pascarella is from Millstone, New Jersey, 5'6" junior forward wearing number 20. Number 24, freshman midfielder getting back-to-back starts in this championship weekend from Woolwich Township, New Jersey. It's Rachel Robichaux. And the senior forward, number 32, Nikki Butler from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. She's 5'6" and an honorable mention Njac honoree. And in goal, it's Alexandra Panasuk. She's a second-team All-American and goalkeeper of the year in the Njac. She's wearing number 99 from Wall Township, New Jersey.
And as you're looking at the screen and trying to figure out where everybody is, the Lions will play 3 in the back. They've done that all year. Obviously, Panasuk in goal, but Robichaux is going to be on the left. Hall plays the center back position as well as anybody, and that's why she is a first-team All-American. And on the right side will be Ava Curtis. We'll talk about her through the broadcast, but rave reviews about her future potential with this program. Again, she's, as a freshman, already made an immediate impact in the program. Her sister Amelia is the holding midfielder in front of that back line. Ray's on the left. Obst is on the right. Coppola has more of a freedom as the center midfielders to attack, with Butler kind of playing that true more center midfielder type role, and then Pasquarella and Vieira, both true central forwards, really patrolling that middle of the field, Dave.
We'll talk about the Lions starters, the captain starters in a moment. Just settle in here as the Lions have definitely come out on the attack so far in this one. It's a quick start for them. Captain's still settling into the game, as it were. And by the way, head coach for the Lions, Joe Russo, in his 32nd season, he's got 556 victories as Riley Cook gets a chance, top of the box, but it gets depossessed there by the aforementioned outstanding defender you were talking about.
And, of course, this is, and we'll talk a lot about this throughout the game, the last game of Joe Russo's career. He announced prior to the season that at 63 years old, this would be his 32nd and final year leading the Lions. And players may not admit that they're playing for their coach, but deep in their hearts, you expect that they probably are.
Christopher Newport on the attack here. Shot deep is blocked out front. Yeah, Joe Russo, by the way, 32nd year, as you said, this is also the 32nd year of the program. He started this program alongside his assistant coach, Bob Turner. Both of them will be stepping away from the program at the end of today's game. For Christopher Newport, they come in 21-0-1. Again, first ever championship game and just the fourth program to get to the championships for Christopher Newport, for as good as the overall department has been over the years. They'll start with a freshman midfielder, number 1, Ellie Cox, a 5'1", as I mentioned, freshman out of Crozet, Virginia. 5'9", junior defender, number 7, Jill McDonald out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. A 5'5", senior midfielder, number 8, Emily Talata out of Arlington, Virginia. A 5'6", senior midfielder, number 11, Abby Harrington out of Stafford, Virginia. 5'6", senior forward, number 17, Sarah Smith out of Norfolk, Virginia. And then you've got a 5'3", junior defender, number 18, Sarah Reel out of Suffolk, Virginia. Jessica Zimmerman is a 5'1", junior midfielder, wearing number 25 out of Davidsonville, Maryland. Nia Savage is a 5'3", sophomore defender, wearing number 30 out of Urbana, Maryland. A 5'8", freshman defender, number 33, Reese Slater out of Keswick, Virginia. And in goal, we've seen a lot of her already in this one. It's a 5'10", fifth year. It's Haley Iser out of Richmond, Virginia. And, of course, Riley Cook, the number 19-year-old out of Mechanicsburg, Virginia, is the fifth-year stud at the top of this offense for this Christopher Newport unit.
And the captains truly play a more traditional now four-backs system, with on the left side Savage, McDonald, and Slater, your center backs, and Reel on the right side. Cox and Harrigan are in those holding midfielder type roles. Riley Cook is that attacking center midfielder who pretty much has free reign. Zimmerman on the right, Talata on the left, and Sarah Smith the other. They have 2 All-American forwards. She is up top, patrolling with Iser in the back.
Something interesting, I noticed Ryan Davidson did not play yesterday. She's a senior forward from Virginia Beach, and I asked what was the reason for that. Well, Davidson primarily comes in for Cook, and Cook did not take a seat yesterday. Well, only once this season had Davidson and Cook been on the field at the same time. It was a game against Trinity back in the third round of the NCAA tournament, and it was only for a short period of time. That was the first game Davidson did not appear. It just shows you that how important yesterday was. That's the first game Cook has played the entire game without taking a seat. Head coach for the captains, by the way, Jamie Gunderson, technically in his first season. He's been with the program for 9 years now. He's 10 if you count the COVID year. He spent 8 years as an assistant. Hired after the 2019 season when Dan Weller departed. He's been on staff with CNU when they got here to the Division III semis back in 2018. This is just his first year actually at the helm of a season. Not a bad way to start.
No, I think he won't talk about himself, but how often, if ever, does a coach get to a Final Four, let alone a championship game in their first year leading a program? And whether he wants to talk about himself or not, Coach Gunderson deserves so much credit for taking them to heights they've never achieved before.
Pass in front, a little too far out in front of Riley Cook. Can't get there, but the turnover in the middle of the field is going to give Coppola a chance. Correction, going to give Harrigan a chance. Harrigan actually had a bit of a rough game yesterday against Loris. Had a lot of turnovers, especially in the defensive half of the field, mainly because what Loris was forcing. It was more about what Loris was doing. Harrigan just struggled with the step. That's the furthest up we've seen her here this weekend, up near the top of the offensive 18.
And Cook, while she had double digits in shots yesterday, really only a few were dangerous chances until she broke free in overtime. Loris did a fantastic job yesterday putting their top playmaker on her step for step until the very end.
Going down the left side is Coppola. By the way, these are the two of the top 10 defenses in the country. Coming in, a total of 13 goals allowed by both teams combined, 6 for TCNJ and 7 for CNU. TCNJ has the second best defense statistically at 0.217 goals against, and Christopher Newport comes in at 0.32, which is 8th best in the country.
And what's especially notable about CNU is they've only allowed 1 goal in the first half this year.
Yeah.
And with their offense, and they've scored, close to 60 goals on the season, they've been able to get off to some very quick starts and taken a lot of pressure off of their defense.
TCNJ located in Ewing, New Jersey, which is the southern part of the state. Captains of Christopher Newport, located not too far from here in the Newport News, Virginia Beach region of Virginia.
As a New Jersey native, I will have to correct you there. Ewing's actually in the western part of the state. They're a suburb of the state capital, Trenton.
State is lengthwise, so I always think just north, south.
We do have an east and a west. I live in Central Jersey. Anything north of 195 is Central Jersey, and you go south of 195, you're in South Jersey. That's how I look at it.
These programs have met in their history a total of 4 times. Interestingly enough, the last handful of appearances have been NCAA tournament appearances. The last one coming in the first round back in 2010. So it's been 11 years. That was a first-round victory by TCNJ, 4-0. They actually have outscored Christopher Newport in their history, 12-2. But as I said, it's not like any of these students would know about it because it's been since 2010. Since the only one out here who would know that game, or the two of them, would be Bob Turner and Joe Russo. Those are the only two who wouldn't have any clue about any of these games. First game dates back to 2004. It was a 1-1 tie.
By the way, there you saw Ava Curtis, the Njac Rookie of the Year, shaking up, number 5 for the Lions.
Nice little play there by Coppola. Top of the box. Right foot shot. It's going to go for the save to keep it from going over the post, but as a result, it's going to give up the corner kick off of the right foot of Pasquarella. You see it again. I think this is just a moment here where Iser was just trying to make sure that the post was covered, even though it was very well covered, and then just couldn't get up in time to keep that from trickling over the line. So our first corner kick of the contest. Coming in, TCNJ averages about 7.5 corner kicks per game. Christopher Newport gives up roughly 2.5 per contest, though both teams gave up a lot yesterday. That one chested out front by the defender, goes into the center of the box, dangerous position, but kicked out of bounds for a throw-in. And the Lions waste a little time getting right to it. Captains on the back foot a little bit early in this one, as they were yesterday against Loris.
Lions need to be careful here with the counter.
Yep, here comes the counter. Up ahead, it's Robichaud. I'm sorry. That is not Zimmerman. Good defense initially. Late hit there. Am I going to call a play on here? No, they won't. They're going to call a direct kick back here as a late tackle attempt by the Lions. A tackle attempt by Ava Curtis, who was banged up earlier.
And Sarah Smith, worse for wear in the middle of the field for the captains.
Curtis is arguing back to the official. Our officials, by the way, we have Katie McCormick in the center. You get to see this one again. Yeah, just came in late.
Yeah, just couldn't put on the brakes.
Yep.
And
so Katie McCormick's in the middle. She was our 4th official for both games yesterday. Our assistant official on the near side is Kendall McCardle. And our assistant on the far side is Sharon Gingrich. I believe both of them had the centers yesterday. Don't quote me on that. Jennifer Dumaine is our 4th official today. We'll get a direct kick. This is a dangerous spot, Ira. It's a little bit centered on from about 35. They're going to play it short, but TCNJ plays that well. They tried to get TCNJ looking for the shot, but Cook's got a chance, but the spin on the ball bounces it away from her, but it will still be a throw-in for the captains.
2 first-team All-Americans meeting there in Cook and Hall. And Hall did not allow any chance for Cook to pick up a second touch after she didn't get a clean one off her chest.
Real with the throw in to Cook. On the corner of the box, nice little move. Takes a left-footed shot, blocked out front. I think that was Hall that came in to get the block. Captain's now staying with the attack, though nice steal in the middle of the field there by Vieira and kicked all the way downfield, and Captains will use Iser here. By the way, something to keep an eye on, Iser has a very interesting goal kick technique. You don't see it there in the run of play. She just strides up and kicks the ball, but the goal kick, she will literally dance on her kicking foot for 2 or 3 hops in the middle of her stride. I just can't imagine. In the middle of the field, turnover. Captains have an opportunity here. Feed into the middle. I think maybe overthinking that was Talata. She was trying to feed Cook when maybe just a ripper there would have been best. Allow Cook to run onto a rebound.
I was surprised the Captains kind of let that ball fall instead of trying to challenge the defense in the box. And
goes out of bounds. Captains with another throw-in. And coming up to do the honors is Savage.
CNU's been the aggressive team here in the last few minutes. You know, the Lions were playing back on their heels quite a bit yesterday with the way Wesleyan was pressing. And to me, it's interesting to see how is TCNJ going to come out.
Well, they've come out pretty hard. Granted, the last few minutes not going their way, but they've had the captain's back, kind of like Loris had the captain's back early in the game yesterday. Feed up top to Coppola. Coppola trying to feed it through to Pascarella, and they're going to call Pascarella for a shove as it knocked down Cox, and the fans certainly don't like the call.
And it's a very heavy TCNJ crowd, especially to our right here.
Yeah, there's definitely a shove there. Cox comes in and goes shoulder to midsection because of the height difference there with Pascarella, and Pascarella took advantage of that and shoved Cox aside.
I was going to say TCNJ, you know, that's about a 7-hour drive down here from that part of New Jersey. Obviously, almost everybody on this team from the Garden State. For the Captains, about 260 miles away, so they're the closest of the 4 women's teams that were here this weekend. And by the way, Christopher Newport is actually part of the New Jersey Athletic Conference with TCNJ in one sport. They are associate members, affiliate members in football. I know today's a big day in the D3 football world with the quarterfinals going on.
Quarterfinals going on in that sport, certainly. And last I checked, one of the perennial favorites was in trouble, in fact.
Good challenge by Hall in the middle of the field, coming all the way back, or up from the back and getting involved offensively.
Lions keeping the pressure on here. Nope. That upset is now no longer an actual thing. Mount Union rallying back in football.
Now this program for the Lions, they have 2 fifth-year players in Obst. Obst had the game-winning goal yesterday, and then, of course, their goalkeeper.
Good idea here, trying to get it to Cook. A missed kick's got it in the box. Cook's still running on, and that's going to be a foul on Cook. But interesting how they threaded that to have Cook run on, and it nearly worked for him. And that's a big shove. And early in this contest, the Curtis sisters have taken some abuse. Ava especially. I mean, that's just a hard contact.
Yeah,
certainly it looks worse in the end than it really was.
That wasn't a malicious foul at all. I mean,
no,
that
it
was
just a hard foul.
Hard foul trying to gain.
Professional foul.
Good way to say it.
Yeah.
You know, when I talked to Coach Russo earlier this week just about what the greatest strength of this year's team was, he said it was balance. He says, you know, they from top to bottom, from the back line to the central midfield, they just feed off of each other. It's good cohesive balance and some of the best chemistry of any team he's coached in his 32 years.
Opportunity here, cutting in Talata. Nearly loses it, but will pass it back to Savage. Savage enters the middle of the field. And a long shot, I think that's a shot coming from Smith. It's going to end up in a corner, so she must have intended to shoot it, and it went off of a foot. So we'll get a corner kick here. First one for CNU, and they average just over 6 corners a game, while TCNJ averages allowing just under 2 per contest. And again, yesterday, both teams were on the back foot in that category, as Loris and Wesleyan had countless corner kicks, especially in the first half, as Cook will take this one. In swinger, right to the top of the 6. And another corner opportunity as crashing in. That was Smith.
And Hall was with her stride for stride there, with Ava Curtis hugging the near post.
See it again as Smith nearly got a hold of this one as she came running in at the top of the 6. Another opportunity. This one, that goes in. The Captains have found the back of the net in the early 1-0 lead off of the corner from Riley Cook. Sarah Smith picks up the goal. The All-Americans team up to give CNU an early 1-0 lead.
Smith, the transfer from Virginia Tech, 9th goal of the year, and you don't see too many assists from Cook, only her 5th of the year, but she put a perfect corner onto the outside back post. And we'll see it again here, and just skipping it off the turf. It's one way to elude the defense is not have a direct shot, actually use the turf as a weapon.
How about the fact that they went kind of near post, middle of the field on the first one trying to hit Smith. Second time they go back post to hit Smith. 2 different looks on 2 back-to-back corners, and TCNJ has found themselves in a place they don't find themselves all that often. Down 1-0 early on, and Captains suddenly with momentum here. Here they come again. McDonald with the ball up ahead, just missed Cook. Just the 7th goal allowed this season by TCNJ, now tying the number that Christopher Newport has allowed this season. And it is early in this one. I joked with somebody earlier, these 2 defenses not allowing many goals, we might get a 4-3 game. Just because it's the unexpected. Nearly halfway through this first half. 1-0 the lead for Christopher Newport against TCNJ. The Lions, though, now with possession. Coppola's got it. She'll feed it to the far side of the field. Right-footed long shot coming, and it's plenty of time for Iser to line that up and keep it from hitting the back herself. Iser coming in with a 0.25 goal against average. That's 6th best in Division III. 3rd best in save percentage coming into the weekend, and 5th best in shutouts. For the weekend, we're a little bit thrown off by a goal being in the first half.
It's the first half goal of any of the 5 games we've encountered between the semis and this first championship game.
And we're going to have a tripping foul there called on the Captains. So a free kick from about 40 yards out. That foul called on Slater, who you see there, the biology major. Freshman. Getting experience in a championship game her first season. Under 25 minutes play in the first half. This service into the middle of the box, headed out by McDonald, as Pasquarella will pick it up on top of the D3 logo. And it's headed out by Slater and then blocked out front. That one's going to hurt a little bit. As a shot from Coppola nails Harrigan right in the ankles. As we get our first sub of the game for the Lions coming in, it is Christina Ng, the Bridgewater, New Jersey native, a 5'1" junior defender wearing number 3. She appears to be replacing
That'd be Garay.
Garay, yeah. Ava Garay, the Rahway, New Jersey native. And again, college rules, once you are on the field for one opportunity in the first half and come off, you're off for the rest of the half. So we won't see Garay until the second half. Another corner kick opportunity, though, here for the Lions. It'll be Curtis to take it, Amelia Curtis.
We should note this is not the first time the Lions have been down in the NCAA tournament. They trailed Scranton in the second round, actually in the Sweet 16, 1-0 in the 19th minute, came back to score 3 in a row.
This one top of the box, headed down, and Iser almost ran past it and bobbled it a little bit with Vieira sitting on the doorstep, ready to knock that one home. We'll see it again. A nice service top of the box here. I'm trying to see who sent it in. It was Butler, as you see the mishandle there with Vieira lurking.
Butler was the one who tied the game against Scranton, by the way, like 4 minutes later in the 23rd minute, before Lindsay O'Keefe and Gianna Coppola added 2 late goals to break open what was a 1-1 game. 73rd and 75th minutes. So the Lions have played from behind, not maybe as comfortable there, because they're rarely behind, but they've already proven in this tournament, Dave, that they're capable of bouncing back. Meanwhile, as we've talked about, CNU doesn't give up a lot of first half goals, just one on the year. And we'll see if they can add a second to the bag.
Pasquarella is going to get in on the left side, being closely guarded by Slater. Gets a knee on that one and then boots it to the near side. Now will go out of bounds for a throw-in for the Lions. Again, the Lions wearing the navy blue uniforms, navy blue shorts and socks. Going left to right across your screen. Captains are in the white uniforms with a little bit of gray on the shoulders. And they're going right to left on your screen. I'm Dave McHugh alongside Ira Thor. We're halfway through this first half. It's an early 1-0 lead for Christopher Newport.
Now we're sure the captains, fans, and students and faculty and staff watching this game at a viewing party at the Gaines Theater on campus are enjoying the fact that their team is up 1-0.
Nice steal in the midfield there by Robichaux. Pasquarella then trying to switch fields. That doesn't seem like she meant to kick it in reverse, but Butler was able to chase it down. Curtis now trying to spark the offense from the defensive back, but she'll get it back. And it looks like they're probably going to switch fields here. No, they keep it on the near side.
Something that's also interesting about the CNU squad, Dave, is this is the fifth team, I should say, in school's history since 2000 to have a senior class reach 2 Final Fours: baseball, softball, volleyball, and most recently men's basketball. And it just goes to show you have, 2 5-year players, 5th-year players here, and their starting keeper Eisner, and of course, they're all American Riley Cook. Shows their commitment to the program as they've come back to try to vie for a national championship.
Substitutions for the Lions into the game. Freshman midfielder Victoria D'Impiero, wearing number 6 from Bordentown, New Jersey at 5'2". At 5'3", a junior forward, number 14, Lindsay O'Keefe from Red Bank, New Jersey. And for the captains, they bring in Emma Ritchie, who is a Winchester, Virginia native, a 5'6" sophomore forward who's got number 5.
And she had the assist on the game winner yesterday in overtime against Loris.
What they would call their spark plug, especially down the right wing, which is how they ended up getting that goal yesterday. 20 minutes left to go here in the first half. Again, 1-0 captains lead.
Amelia Curtis on the corner.
This one served right to the top of the 6, headed over the crossbar by Ops.
Well, Ops scored yesterday with her head. Biggest goal of her life for sure.
Another substitution for the captains. Molly Beagle from Norfolk, Virginia, a 5'7" junior forward wearing number 20 is into the game. She will give the goal scorer Smith a break. Smith will get 20 minutes of rest before the second half.
Yeah, Beagle and Davidson, who you mentioned earlier, are really the 2 key reserves who come in for either Riley or Smith, but I'm not really expecting Riley to come out of this game at any point.
Yeah, unless there's a significant lead, we may not see Davidson all weekend. Though as a senior, I wouldn't be surprised if they make some arrangement for her to get into this game as that ball's kicked out of bounds. And so it'll be a throw-in for the Lions' far side. Pass into the middle of the field and carrying it over is O'Keefe. Gets it to Coppola. Coppola feeds it back to O'Keefe again. O'Keefe has it stolen off her foot. Here come the captains. It's Ritchie trying to break out, but a good defensive effort there from Amelia Curtis in the midfield.
Got to give credit there to the center back, Jill McDonald, for taking it off of O'Keefe's foot, by the way. Done a great job as the elder statesman of the defense, the junior back, playing alongside a lot of new players. Reese Slater's a true freshman. Sarah Reel, number 18, the right back, transitioned to the back this year. She was previously a forward. So McDonald, as a junior, is the leader of one of the better defensive units in the country. And look how far they've gotten by being able to communicate in a short period of time, Dave.
That free kick did not go according to plan for the Lions. Zimmerman able to get the steal on a worm burner of a kick. So now the Lions are trying to build out of their backfield. Up ahead to O'Keefe, but she's immediately depossessed of the ball, and they will Captains will go to work thanks to McDonald in the backfield, but her attempt upfield is stolen. Here come the Lions on a quick counter, but again, the Captains are in the right place at the right time. Under 18 minutes to play, up ahead, just missed its intended target of Beagle. He'll go out of bounds. It'll be Captains throwing in front of their bench. Christopher Newport, Newport News, Virginia, founded in 1961, has become a very good athletic program, as TCNJ fans wanted a pushing foul called on McDonald as she and Pascarella were pushing and shoving. They'll get the call in the middle of the field instead.
I thought
against McDonald.
I thought McDonald just did a good job of spinning out of danger there. Not really a foul.
Correction, that's not McDonald. They called it on Cook. Yeah, I think it was how they saw their player go to the deck and McDonald's arm in the air. They thought maybe it was a foul. Again, Christopher Newport, though interestingly enough, just their 4th national championship game for any program, has become a top program in almost every sport. That one gets past the jumping Slater, who has to retreat. Of course, men's and women's basketball, pretty solid. Football has been pretty good over the years. Coming into the game for the Lions, Gianna Minerva from Bridgewater, New Jersey, the junior forward, number 18. Also into the game, number 21, Jessica O'Brien, a 5'7", junior forward out of Hopewell, New Jersey. But also men's and women's lacrosse is pretty good at Christopher Newport, and really name a sport. They do a pretty good job. They're in the same conference as Salisbury University in Maryland, who's also synonymous in a lot of good sports. Of course, TCNJ out of the Njac, and they are located, as we mentioned, in Ewing, New Jersey. Founded in 1855 as the New Jersey Normal School.
All the schools were normal schools back then.
They have an enrollment of 6,700. Christopher Newport with an enrollment of about 5,000.
6,700, about middle of the pack in the Njac in terms of enrollment. You got Rowan, Kane, Montclair, William Patterson, well over 10,000 students each. In fact, Montclair's got close to 20,000.
Pass up ahead, Zimmerman cutting down the wing with her speed, feeds it in the middle to Cook. Cook can't spin it, can't turn it, and isn't able to do much before Hall takes it away from her.
Yesterday you saw McDonald for Loras having to deal with her. Today, Hall doing a tremendous job of shutting down Cook.
Lions with a little bit of urgency here. They get past McDonald. This one a long shot out, and Iser has it. I was going to say the other thing about both these colleges is while they're both state institutions, they're more of an honors institutions. They're not your atypical state schools like in in a lot of states you get your state schools like a Maryland or a Towson or a Virginia or whatever you want to call it, but then you also get your more liberal arts state schools, and these two would kind of fit into those categories.
I think TCNJ is more liberal arts, very good education program among other things. In fact,
more of an honors state school.
Yeah, and well, in fact, for TCNJ, their starting goalkeeper, Panasuk is an education major, and one reason she came back to school in addition.
Oh, nice little move there.
As we talk about Panasuk, one reason she came back to school, after being pretty much a reserve behind All-Americans her whole career, in addition to playing her 5th and final year, she's an education major, special ed, wants to get her master's degree, and she didn't want to, be a career backup. And, in fact, it's tough because she was behind a multiple-time All-American in goal, and, for her to have this moment, this class was here a few years ago, the senior class, and they obviously had that disappointing loss to Chicago, but it's one thing to be here, and it's another thing to appreciate the moment. Mm-hmm. And they're certainly, win or lose, appreciating this opportunity this weekend.
Long kick up front, gets past Slater, but Iser there to clean it up. Unfortunately, O'Keefe wasn't able to take advantage of that, getting past both of them, really, as they both overran that long one. 13 minutes left to go here in the first half. 1-0 the lead for the Captains on a beautiful corner kick that Riley Cook took that hit her teammate Sarah Smith. Sarah Smith's 9th goal of the season for Cook. It is her
5th assist.
Yeah, I was getting there. 5th assist.
Trying to help you out, my friend. And by the way, we talked about sitting behind an All-American. Panasuk sat behind Nicole DePasquale, who was a 2-time All-American. And, sometimes just timing about when you come into a program and who's already there.
Foul on the captains in the middle of the field here. Yeah, DePasquale, very good goalie over the years for the Lions.
Interesting note from our buddy Rob, the athletic communications director at Crystal Newport. That is only the 2nd time this year that those forward All-Americans have teamed up for a goal. Amazing to think about.
That's an insane thought considering how many goals the two combined for.
Credit to Rob Silsby for that information.
It's now 32 total goals between the two of them and a total of 8 assists.
Think about it. They've scored 61 goals as a team, only the 2nd time.
Yeah, that's just
they've connected.
A little bit mind-blowing.
That's why they pay Rob Silsby the big bucks.
This one booted upfield. Well done there by Savage. But
Great defense by Curtis.
Beagle couldn't get onto that one. Savage gets it back. Up to Beagle now. Beagle's got Talata on the left, trying to feed her by splitting it between the defense. Going to force Hall to come back and clean it up and kick it out of bounds, which will give the captains a chance.
Now, but talking about Curtis making that play a moment ago, and Coach Russo says she's an exceptional player. She could very well be one of the most talented to ever come through their program, which is saying something because TCNJ has had 2 National Players of the Year in Kim Faust and Victoria Newsey. So for a freshman to make this kind of an impact immediately like Ava Curtis has, it's almost in a program like TCNJ, which always has national championship aspirations, says so much about the respect not only does she have of the coaching staff, but the bright future she has after Coach Russo and Coach Turner go into retirement.
Sorry. It looked like a worse hit than it really was. As
did you feel it?
When McDonald went up for the header, I thought she actually made head-to-head contact with the other player. And this is interesting. I actually see Loris fans walking into this game right now.
Hey, they came out here for the weekend.
Yeah, good
Might
for
as well
them.
see another good game, even if their team isn't still playing.
Wearing Loris Duhawk soccer shirts. Hats off to them to come out here and see this one.
Listen, any of these 4 teams, as we saw yesterday, that were in the semifinals could be playing in this championship
Absolutely.
game. Both 1-0 games. And you talk about tales of 2 halves. Loris and Wesleyan both dominated the first halves yesterday, and it forced these coaching staffs to make adjustments at halftime, Dave.
I'm talking to the same Rob Silsby you were talking about before the game, and he pointed out that really, and he was right, after about the 25th minute of the first half, Loris no longer had a lot of serious or any goal-scoring opportunities as the captains made adjustments, especially at halftime. As taking the direct kick here will be McDonald off of the handball called at midfield. Serves as it all into the box, headed back out by the Lions, but not out of trouble. Now at least a moment. Well, Savage is going to make it interesting, but can't get a foot on it. And it is finally taken back by the Lions, but geez, Savage fights right back.
Yeah, but tremendous effort there by D'Imperio.
Oh, little touch pass, try to get it to Cook. Ends up on the foot of Talata, but then it's stolen away. And now coming upfield, O'Brien, who's into the game. O'Brien continues to have it, now going against Savage. Feeds it up ahead to O'Keefe, and O'Keefe turns right into Slater. I think she thought Slater was off her other shoulder.
Good athleticism by the center official. McCormick
get out of the way.
That.
Yep. 8.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Captains won the 1-0 lead on TCNJ.
Well, Wesleyan, the one reason they outplayed TCNJ in the first half yesterday was because of that high press offense where they were putting the Lions on their back heels. The reason that the Lions were able to bounce back, I think, is that they had 9 subs. They went deep into their bench as they're doing here. So they had 20 players see action yesterday, and they just wore Wesleyan out, Dave.
Yvonne Vasquez, the Hamilton, New Jersey 5'5" junior defender, wearing number 4, is into the game for the Lions. Also, Sophia Alves, the 5'4" Union, New Jersey sophomore midfielder, wearing number 7. And the captains bring in Maddie Blake, as that is a handball call just outside the box. And we're going to call it from, it's going to be at 18 yards from the end line, 17 yards from the end line, but on an angle. So it's going to be about an 20-yard kick here.
That's against one of their top defenders, McDonald, with the infraction.
Blake, by the way, from Ashburn, Virginia, 5'5" sophomore midfielder, number 38. So a dangerous opportunity here for the Lions. They bring up Ava Curtis and her sister Amelia. Amelia chats with Ava and then steps aside. This will be Ava's responsibility. Sun not a factor, though. It's now bright and sunny for the first time coming out from behind the clouds. But this angle, the sun isn't a huge factor unless Iser has to look to her right. Anything in that right, her right is going to be a real tough see. Curtis line drives at top of the 6, and it's booted out by the captains. Under 7 minutes to play here in the first half. To the point of the sun. I was down there on the field earlier, though. This one served over the top of the box, and Iser comes over the top to pick it up. Looking at that right-hand box, I don't think we appreciated yesterday just how strong the sun was in that women's game. We talked about Wesleyan having the advantage in their game against TCNJ in the first half and then seemingly not in the second, and I think the sun had a much bigger impact than I had given it credit as Zimmerman holds on possession on the far side. Any goalie in the right-hand goal, from our vantage point, looking out towards the center of the field to their right, is staring into the sun. And it is hard to avoid. Now, it's been behind some clouds to start this game, but it is not now.
That's one of the impacts of having almost perfect weather here, not just today, but also in our semifinals yesterday. It's 71 degrees right now here in Greensboro. And 2 years ago when we were at this championship and years prior to that when it was in North Carolina, you had championship game temperatures in the 30s and the 40s. It's a tough collision there at midfield, and it is going to be CNU getting called for it, the foul. And disagreeing with that call is Harrigan.
Yeah, Harrigan, of course, isn't going to like that. As we get a direct kick inside the center circle. And they're going to take it and just pass it over to Ava Curtis here on the right-hand side. She's going to put a line drive, a little bit of a knuckler on that. And Iser stays in front to keep that one from being a problem. Yeah, I was in pregame. I think it was Kyle McMullen, the AD from Christopher Newport, I heard, walking on the field talking to somebody. He's like, yeah, last time we were here it was in the 40s. I kind of chuckled to myself. I remembered that one vividly.
Is that the year we sat outside under a tent for a game?
It was 2018, so it might have been, yes.
That was not a fun memory.
Big foot there from Curtis up ahead, but can't seem to connect with O'Keefe. As we're under 5 minutes to play here in the first half.
It's one thing to sit outside watching a game if you got a blanket around you. You can't really wrap a blanket around you as you're broadcasting a game.
Into the game for the Christopher Newport captains. It's number 31, Ryan Davidson. And she is going to give Riley Cook a break. Davidson, the Virginia Beach, Virginia native, 5'9" senior forward, is into the game for the site. Again, did not play in the semifinals because Cook did not come out. But they're going to give Cook 5 minutes of extra break here at the half.
I think it's a good move by Jamie Gunderson. Give her about a 20-minute break and then let her run the rest of the way.
Oh, look at that. Stepping in on that one. It was Blake down to the end line. Left foot as she has to rush that. Unfortunately, goes out of bounds. As you see the shadows now creeping across off the end line. This game being played a little bit later than the second semifinal was played yesterday. Yeah, roughly. The second semifinal started at 1:45 yesterday. This one's starting at 2:30. So this shadow encroaching a little bit sooner in this game.
Semifinal day is a long day, so, of course, that feels like 2 or 3 days ago.
It really does. Captains with the 1-0 lead, trying to get one more if they can. Of course, the Lions would like to tie it here before the end of the half as we got 3 minutes left to go. And being forced to dribble into a double team there was Amelia Curtis.
Both of these teams, they did not play last year at all during COVID year and had an opportunity. There was Njac soccer. There was an Njac championship last year on the TCNJ side. few programs chose not to participate. CNU also didn't have that action.
They had absolutely no options.
But something they really did do during the COVID year is they put a lot of hours.
Opportunity here for O'Keefe. Right-handed shot, but she was off balance, and it goes wide.
Put a lot of hours of work in, and the message was that this was going to pay off for the future. And, you know, Coach Gunderson's proud of how his team not only saw what the big picture was and what the potential outcome, but now look at this. This is the fruits of their labor from taking the time when, you know, you knew you weren't going to play at all last year. You knew that, well, what are you doing this for, right? Especially, you know, for some of the younger players who never had been in a college game before. The work paid off.
TCNJ coming down the right-hand side. Cross in front. Not well cleared. But now the run is on. Savage for the Captains running up the left side. Getting it. Cut off, but she finds Beagle in this somewhat the center of the field. Beagle goes to Harrigan. And now they will switch fields with Cox. Cox to the far side using the overlapping defender. With 90 seconds or so remaining, Zimmerman can't maintain possession there. Goes out of bounds at the end line for a goal kick, and we'll get another sub into this contest.
Great job by Hall there, by the way, to cut off the angle.
TCNJ will bring in Deanna Diampiero, number 2 senior forward from Bordentown, New Jersey, 5'2", and then also coming into the game, Allie O'Keefe, the Red Bank, New Jersey native, 5'6" freshman midfielder wearing 15, as I mentioned. And that means all 3 pairs of sisters have gotten into the game for the Lions here. The O'Keefes, the Curtises, and the Diampieros. If you had that on your
bingo card?
on your bingo card, you might be close to bingo. Captains turn it over.
You know what?
50 seconds left.
You know what the stars in the middle, right? Picture of Coach Russo.
Exactly. That's an easy one. Next year it'll confuse people. You're going to have to get your bingo cards remade.
You know what's interesting, by the way, about Coach Russo? This almost didn't happen. He almost wasn't the coach at TCNJ. He actually was the first head coach.
Oh, this one's a little dangerous spot. Iser waiting for the ball to get to her at the top of the 18 and trying to run it down was Deanna. And she runs into the back of McDonald, who then collides with Iser. A little gamesmanship. I would also argue maybe a little bit of acting from McDonald.
I think we'll have to finish our Russo stories
yes,
later.
We're out of time, sir. So there you are, folks. That's the first half. And for the Captains, it's a great first half. They got caught on the back foot just a bit as the game started. The Lions certainly came out with a little bit more energy, but the Captains withstood that and took a 1-0 lead on a brilliant goal off a corner kick in the middle of the half, and they take that 1-0 lead to the break. And for TCNJ, it's certainly not something to be worried about, but they are going to have to make some adjustments. So we'll take a break. Come back, we'll get you some highlights as the coaches discuss strategy for the second half. We'll get you ready for that second half. Christopher Newport leads TCNJ here in the Division III Women's Soccer Championship game at halftime. Welcome back. Halftime of the Division III Women's Soccer National Championship game from Greensboro, North Carolina in the UNCG Soccer Complex. I'm Dave McHugh alongside Ira Thor, and 2 state institutions facing off for the first time since 1996, guaranteeing us a state champion. Christopher Newport is leading TCNJ 1-0. Interesting first half, Ira, is Lions came out a little bit kind of on fire and got Christopher Newport kind of on their back heel. But the Captains responded. What a brilliant goal here. That's the second corner kick in a row, and it was the second time this year that we saw this connection of Cook to Smith.
And from there, it was catch-up time for the Lions. They did have possession 29% of the time they had the ball at their feet. It was in the final offensive quadrant of the field, but so far, even with a 10-6 margin in shots, Lions haven't found a way to equalize this.
So the Captains, in their first ever national championship game, have a 1-0 lead on TCNJ, looking to try and give their head coach, Joe Russo, a championship in his final season. We'll see what the next 45 has in store. This game is far from over. Captains and Lions back when we come, well, we'll return to the field when we come back. Welcome back as we get ready for second half action here in the Division III Women's Soccer National Championship game from the UNC Soccer Complex in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm Dave McHugh alongside Ira Thor. 16 total shots in that first half, 10 of them to the TCNJ Lions, 6 of them to the Captains, but it's Captains with the 1-0 lead. And as we get ready for the second 45, we'll switch sides, and now I think what's interesting is that the cloud cover has kind of dwindled a bit, and it'll be the Lions who have to deal with the sun in their eyes, and it'll be the Captains coming in the opposite direction. Not sure how much of an impact that will make, but we'll keep an eye on it. There you see the Lions, and there are your Captains. Again, can't overemphasize this enough. Two state institutions facing off for a national title. The last time it took place was 1996, UC San Diego versus this TCNJ team. Or program, I should say. Of course, first state school to win a women's soccer title since 2003. That will certainly happen here today as well. As we're underway, Captains are in the white uniforms with a little bit of the gray on top with the royal blue numbers and white shorts, white socks, going left to right, defending to the left, attacking to the right. It is the Lions of TCNJ in the navy blue uniforms with white numbers and trim, and a breakout opportunity. Cook's got a one-on-one into the box, shoots, and misses it to the right.
Wow. It looked like 20 seconds into the second half, Dave, we were going to have a 2-0 game, and the fact that ball was at the feet of Cook and she did not cash in, I know Panasuk did a nice job coming out there, off her line to at least alter the angle, but
I'd be lying if I wasn't preparing the goal-scoring call. That seemed like it was going to be in the book.
I mean, you would have been crazy as a play-by-play guy not to.
I mean,
she's cashed in 23 times. She has scored coming into this game 6 of their 7 goals in the tournament and has all 5 game winners, which, by the way, is a all-time NCAA tournament record. Nobody's ever done that before.
She has 89 career goals. That was looking to be 90.
Well over 50 points on the season now. Of course, 51 with the assist. But, yeah, I mean, that's quite frankly a big miss. That could have changed the outcome of this game, and obviously still a lot of work for the Lions to do to try to get an equalizer against a team that, like them, doesn't give up many. But TCNJ's come from behind before, Dave. Something I did want to finish the story about the first half. You know, we know the dominance that this TCNJ program has had under Coach Russo's tutelage, 10-time Njac Coach of the Year. He's gotten them to 13 Final Fours, 8th National Championship game, 3 titles. He almost wasn't the coach at TCNJ. In fact, and when he built it up from a club program, he actually originally was going to be the first ever head coach at Penn. He actually had taken the job at Penn, and he was actually playing racquetball with their former athletic director, Kevin McHugh.
No relation.
And no relation to you. I mean,
that I'm aware of.
I think you both had pretty darn good hair, but Kevin was telling Coach Russo about the plans to elevate their club program to a varsity program, and you know, the timing was right. TCNJ was 7 minutes from his house. You know, previously, before coaching, Joe Russo was a phys ed and health teacher in the Ewing school system. And, you know, sometimes fate is what happens, and the rest is history. He's built a dynasty, one of the greatest coaches at any level in the history of collegiate soccer. 556 wins coming into play today. 66 losses, 46 ties, so an 867, 68 winning percentage. Second in D3 history in total wins. I mean, Hall of Famer isn't even telling the full story. He is a legend in this sport at all levels, and it'll be really hard for whoever replaces Coach Russo in the future to have a resume even half of what he's accomplished. So, it's hard to replace a legend, and while this will be a very attractive job for somebody, you also have the drawback of trying to follow somebody who can't be matched.
Joe Russo named Njac Coach of the Year in his final season as the Lions nearly swept all the major awards in the Njac. They had Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Midfielder of the Year. They also had Goalkeeper of the Year and Coach of the Year. The only thing they didn't have was Offensive Player of the Year. And there's just that strong a program in the Njac.
And that's not uncommon. I mean, that's
absolutely not.
Almost every year they have 2, 3, 4 awards. To win 5 of the 6 is pretty dynamic, that's for sure. And still a very young program. There's a lot of youth in this program that is going to be part of the future past Coach Russo's involvement.
Pasquarello tries to hit that one to the top of the box. And it's headed out by the captains, who are now trying to counter. It is on the foot of Zimmerman. Tries to hit Smith cutting through.
By the way, when I asked him about the timing of when he told the team, he's like, really the only thing that made sense after speaking with their athletic director, Amanda DiMartino, was to talk about it in the preseason before the first day of preseason, because there's really never a good time, but he didn't want them to find out, from reading an article online or have to tell them over Zoom, which was how they communicated through most of the pandemic. And he told them in person and said what the plan was, and this is what we have now in front of us the rest of this year, so let's embrace this season, enjoy every minute, and see where it takes us. And David's taken them to at least a national championship game.
1-0 lead for Christopher Newport. TCNJ finds themselves trailing and looking for an equalizer here in the second half. Nice steal there initially by Reel. Goes out of bounds.
By the way, when I asked Coach Russo, well, what's in your future? You're 63 years old. You're still a relatively young man. Will you ever coach again, coach a club team, work with kids? And he was like, TCNJ is the only place I will ever coach.
Going to the far side with it, but captain's there defensively holding the 18. Now trying to transition out of the back.
Good tackle.
Foul.
Ends up being a foul by Amelia Curtis, but the tackle itself prevented what could have been a surge.
I'm actually a little surprised that Talata kept coming down the middle there and not the left side as Smith tries to get the ball back on the left wing. It's going to be kicked out of bounds, and so it'll be captain's throw in. Under 39 minutes to play here in the second half. It is a 1-0 lead again for Christopher Newport. Looking for their first school national championship in a tournament-style sport. They do have a national championship in women's track and field back in 2014, I believe. Nice little ball movement there from Reel, and continues to show off. Hands it off to Zimmerman down the right side here. Zimmerman now being bodied up and thrown off the ball by Gare. And now trying to free up Pasquarella here. She has to retreat. Will turn over the ball. It is once again Talata in the middle for the captains, coming down. Has an opportunity. Top of the 18, left-handed shot, misses the far post. And it'll be a goal kick. Under 38 minutes to play. That was shot number 8 for the captains.
Get a look at the left-footed shot, safely wide of the net. And been an interesting journey for this captain squad because, obviously they got to the Final Four for the first time back in 2018, but they're really still, Dave, new to the stage of being in the national contender talk. Lions obviously the established program historically of the 4 here this weekend, but Loras had never been here before, nor Wesleyan, as we know. But it's not like CNU has a condo down here at the championship, right? Only the second time. Will be interesting to see, regardless of the outcome of this game, how Coach Gunderson's able to continue to develop this program in future years, and if they become like a TCNJ, a program that is constantly in the discussion. They are 5th in the country in the last coaches poll. Of course, TCNJ, the #1 ranked team in the coaches poll throughout most of the year.
Riley Cook unable to turn that one upfield, and the Lions will get possession here. Riley Cook overlapping defensively there, and they're going to give that the captains the ball, much to Ava Gary frustration. And Zimmerman gets the steal, feeds it in the middle to Smith. Smith looking for help, feeds it back to Cook. Cook's going to go to the far side to McDonald. Building this attack, McDonald right-footed this time and misses to the near side. I'll take the average, and she'll be right on net in the last 2 shots. 1-0 it remains, as you see McDonald chatting it up with Cook and Smith.
Big smile from Talata, knowing she had an opportunity there.
Sorry, I said McDonald. It was Talata.
You know, you look at the CNU squad, and you know their formation constantly is morphing throughout the game. You know, sometimes it'll look like a 4-5-1. There's a lot of times, like right now, where it almost looks like a 4-2-4 in some ways, and they've been able to kind of evolve as games have gone on without having much even direction from the sideline, just because of how well they train and how well they communicate.
Steal at midfield. Cook kicks it outside to Talata. Talata will carry. Talata's got Smith now going to the left. Got Cook in the middle. Cook on his little dribble. Down the left side. Will shoot with the left foot and forces the diving save from Panasuk. Maybe rushed that shot a little bit, fearing the defense was closing the door. As you get to check it out again. She topped it a little bit too.
Definitely think she rushed that shot. She also had Smith on the left wing as an option as well.
Zimmerman on the right.
Surprising that she was able to split the TCNJ defense there, even with somebody of her pedigree. That's not something that you typically see happen with this TCNJ defense ever getting split.
You see the fans from Christopher Newport there. Saw some unique signage, including a reminder that TCNJ pumps their own gas, or does not pump their own gas.
I mean, we do. We just have to leave the state. I gotta pump.
I thought it was original. Yes, the gas joke, but to just label the school with it.
I mean, hey, sometimes
good.
It's nice in the winter not getting out of
No,
your
that
car.
is the truth, sir. I give you that. As we are going to have a number of subs here for TCNJ. Yvonne Vasquez returns the game along with Victoria Diempiero. And into the game also comes Robichaud, who did not start this second half. Butler will take a seat along with some other subs. Robichaud will immediately throw this ball in.
Don't be jealous of our gas, Dave.
Oh, I'm not. Cook with a nice header is going to force the Lions to retreat on defense. Smith's going to come up and make this one interesting. They're going to pass it back to Panasuk, who will put a right foot into it. And that's another kind of misplay there by Slater. And it forces her teammate in McDonald to come over and boot it out of bounds. Nice turn there by Vasquez. Amelia Curtis has it in the middle field now. Her teammate does, and they'll come back and use Christina Ing, who then gets it up ahead to Pasquarella. Pasquarella unable to get past Slater. Nice little run here. Nice long shot outside. It was a little bit closer than I think many anticipated from Ava Curtis. Ava Curtis and her sister Amelia Curtis have started and played in every single game. That says something considering Ava is a freshman.
We see the replay here and the shot by Curtis, who has the freedom to come up from that right back slot and get involved in the offense. And she's got a goal and 3 assists on the year. It's not too often you see a defender be the conference's rookie of the year. Traditionally in soccer, that's given out to somebody who's put up some offensive numbers, but her skill is just too good to deny.
I saw Zimmerman come out of the game. Oh, there it is. Trying to find her. It was Ritchie into the game for the captains on the right side. Of course, yesterday during the semifinal helped kind of spark them and obviously led to the game-winning goal in overtime with Cook. The aforementioned Cook with the ball, feeds it up to Smith. Smith's going to switch fields over to Talata, and Talata's going to, if she's fast enough, she's got Zimmerman. Missed it. Zimmerman's got to retreat. Now Zimmerman will get it on the right-hand side. Below the 18. Cuts back. Looking to do something. Puts it top of the box. Talata can't shoot. Now shoots, and it's a low, easy one for Panasuk to pick up. 31:45 remaining in this one. You get to see the opportunity yet again.
And look at the top of the box. Stepping into that shot was Curtis and Hall. And that's what prevented it from being anything but right at the keeper. When I say Curtis, it's Amelia Curtis, who's that holding midfielder, holding center midfielder for the Lions. Does a great job becoming that fifth defender.
And speaking of her, could not get it around the corner on the far side. It'll be a goal kick as you see the shadows creeping further across the field. Into the game, Beagle returns. First action we see in this second half. She'll replace Smith, who gives her a couple of pointers about how the attack is working so far for the captains. Under 31 minutes to play in the national championship, and Christopher Newport leads the College of New Jersey 1-0. Ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Lions. And again, you can see the sun starting to become a bigger and bigger impact. I'm looking at Panasuk. The only way she can see is if she shields her eyes. Anything middle to right, to her right, anything from the middle to her right. The only thing she doesn't need to worry about the sun is on her left side. Here comes the attack from the Lions, top of the box and cleared out by the captains. But not cleared out enough. TCNJ has it. Panasuk will try and force it up and cannot get through the defense, and now the captains will counter. They'll switch fields to the near side, get it on the foot of Richie tries to thread the needle to Beagle. Got disrupted on the way in, and Hall now with it. Can't get it cleared. Stepping up to it is Real. Nice little move. Another one. Trying to cross it, and nice job by Hall to not have it go off of her. But it sets up a corner kick. But if you're TCNJ, you'd rather have the corner kick in this direction. And it's the least impacted by the sun. If a corner kick comes from the far side, you're going to stare into the sun.
Well, Sarah Real, as we mentioned in the start, was a converted former forward. So for her to come up from the right back slot, you see her getting involved in the offense. And
very comfortable.
Absolutely, and potentially sets up a scoring opportunity.
Beagle will take this corner. It'll be an out swinger. Looking good, top of the 6. Oh, actually, backside of 6. It's open. Cook puts a left foot into it and misses it on the left side. From our angle, it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, and that was number 7, Jill McDonald, also coming all the way back from the back line to keep that in play and give Riley Cook an opportunity. Not a play you see very often, too. Usually when it gets that close to the end line, it's sailing over.
Yep.
So heads up play by McDonald.
Cook will settle this down. 28.5 minutes left. Cannot spring Richie down the right side. Captain's defense playing tight, meaning they're up tight to their midfield, leaving the Lions very little room to work. Pascarella's got it now. Comes across the logo. Passes it over to D'Ampiero, but then her pass is broken up by the captains, and now Richie will pass it on to Real, and Real's on the near side and will go upfield, and a big foul from Ing, who can't believe it, but she undercut Beagle, who was trying to make a play on the ball. That's an easy call for our official in the center. And so it'll be a free kick that Real will take on the Christopher Newport side of midfield.
Yeah, easy one for the officials to sniff out. And the Lions, at what point do you start feeling the pressure of not being able to break through offensively?
Ing has that go under her foot, but is able to recover.
The only game, Dave, all year where TCNJ has not scored was the Njac championship game against rival Rowan. So this is 0-0 tie there, and Lions won the conference title 5-4 in PKs.
Lions making that pass back to Iser interesting yet again. A turnover at the top of the box, but cannot do anything with it as Coppola had a bounce away from her. Down the foot of Amelia Curtis. Nice cutback. Long shot coming. Iser has it well read, down to one knee to make sure to keep that from getting past her.
Iser comes in with one of the highest save percentages I've ever seen out of a keeper at 921 on the year, and she was only second team all conference. Coach Gunderson has said he doesn't feel she gets the respect that she deserves at times, and part of that's because the back line has been so dominant.
Nice head ball over to Richie. Richie cuts into the box. She's got numbers in the middle, tries to force it to Cook. Nothing there. Bounces out. Now in the foot of Reel. Reel serves it back in. Beagle can't get to that one. Talata will have it. She will cut out to the left side. Into the box, forces it in. Beagle gets a leg on it. Nothing threatening as the Lions clear it. Now to Reel. Now to Cox. Cox will cross it in front. Still can't get it to a captain's player in the middle. Reel steps into the middle, and then finally getting the ball is Coppola. But then a missed touch from Robichaux gives it back to the captains under 26 minutes to play, who have the 1-0 lead, and the Lions don't seem to be able to figure this out right now. As a long run up into the offensive attack by McDonald is going to give the Lions a counter here. Captains recover. Lions don't have numbers. As bringing that one down was Talata. Well, here come the Lions again, though. Curtis with it, but forces the pass over to Coppola, and it's kicked out of bounds. And we'll get a number of subs here, especially for the Lions. Into the game comes Lindsay O'Keefe along with Gianna Minerva, and also into the game number 23, Sarah Hobbs, who we haven't seen, the 5'2" freshman defender and forward. That's an interesting combo. Number 23 out of Montclair, New Jersey.
He's only played in 10 games all year.
Out of the game for the captains comes Talata, as into the game
Maddie Blake.
Yes, Blake, thank you, into the contest. That ball's going to go across the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for CNU, who's under 25 minutes away from a possible national championship here in women's soccer, as they lead 1-0 on TCNJ here in the second half. And watch Iser and her fascinating goal kick.
As we mentioned,
habits.
The only national championship that Christopher Newport's ever won in a team sport was women's track and field. They've won 12 indoor and outdoor national championships combined. The last was in 1998, but no other team at the school has ever won a national crown. And
especially in a tournament style.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, knowing Division III like you and I both do, it's almost shocking that the captains haven't picked up a championship in another sport.
Men's and women's basketball has had opportunities, deep runs in tournaments. Men's basketball has been in the championship weekend themselves, as we try and springs not Zimmerman over the top. That is Richie, who uses her speed, gets taken down in the box. It's going to be a penalty kick. Hall trips up Cox in the box. And it's going to be a PK, and you got to figure this is going to be on the foot of Cook. And Richie comes up, actually hobbled. Check it out again. She's got the edge on Hall, who got the ball initially, but then took down Cox with the second foot. I think that's where the official saw this. That's a tough call to be sure. And it'll set up a penalty kick here for Cook. 1-0 lead, trying to preserve it here is Panasuk. Goal. The captains have a 2-0 lead on the penalty kick by Cook, her 90th career goal. With 23:31 remaining, TCNJ's uphill battle has just become a little bit steeper. Riley Cook picking up goal number 24 on the season and her 52nd point. And she made that one look easy, drilling it to her right into the corner. Panasuk had it actually read wonderfully, Ira.
Just couldn't get to
Just
the lower
couldn't
corner.
get there.
52nd and 53rd points of the year for Cook, who of course had the assist on what looks to be the game-winning goal right now earlier in the contest. Just 3 for 3 in PKs this year, and tough break for the Lions, who are looking for their first national title in any sport since field hockey won in 2014. But as you said, that hill certainly a lot harder to climb right now.
Well, to answer your question about when is the pressure going to start building, it's now on. And they're going to have to start doing something here to try and get at least one back, likely quickly. And they got an opportunity here, top of the 18. It was number 6 who took the shot, Victoria Diampiero, who is a early childhood education major. Zimmerman into the game and will sub in for Ritchie, who was the one who got tripped up in the box and actually did come up looking a little bit hobbled from it.
The Njac has had 63 in national championships overall, 40 of them by TCNJ. Coast to Coast, I believe, only has had 1 since they were formed, and that would have been Salisbury last spring in baseball.
Yeah, but if you go to the CAC history, which they still hold on to, there are certainly a lot of championships. Salisbury, the chief reason for them in a lot of sports, including lacrosse. Yeah, Salisbury, women's lacrosse too, by the way. Ooh, taking a hard hit there. Out of bounds was Zimmerman. Foul called in the middle of the field. Give the captains a free kick. I just wanted to double check. Yeah, Salisbury won the national championship in women's lacrosse last year as well. Baseball and women's lacrosse champions.
But do they have lacrosse in the C2C?
Yeah.
They do.
Yep. That ball now ruled a foul on the captain, so it'll be the Lions with a free kick. 21 minutes left. Saw both of those coaches actually throw out the first ball together at Oriole Park over the summer. And, of course, women's lacrosse, they didn't throw it out traditionally. They made sure to use the lacrosse stick.
Still probably better than 50 Cent would throw it out.
Well, that's not saying much, but absolutely drilled it. It impressed a lot of people. Coming down the left side, it's the Lions trying to find their first goal of this contest, which they need to do to have the lead here. And that one was not in the intention of Minerva, but it ends up all the way into Ritchie, who buys some time by letting it stay at her feet until she's forced to pick it up. Time running out. 20 minutes left to go here in the national championship. And captains have a 2-0 lead on TCNJ.
By the way,
who has not trailed by that many, I believe, all season.
No, the only other time all year TCNJ has given up 2 goals in a game was in that 2-2 tie with Johns Hopkins. The Lions scored first and also had a 2-1 lead in that game.
Cook coming across midfield with it.
So certainly a position they're not comfortable coming back from, but still plenty of time, Dave, under almost 20 minutes.
Cook loses the ball on the double team, which isn't the least of the concerns for CNU. It wasted some time, but nice step in there by Reel. Nice help defense coming over the back of that as well. Now Beagle with the ball. Lions just can't get possession and maintain possession, as that will be a captain's throw.
I think that was last touch by CNU, looking right at it. But
into the game for the Lions comes Jessica O'Brien, the junior forward from Hopewell, New Jersey. Also into the game for the captain, Sarah Smith, for Norfolk, Virginia, interestingly enough, down the street, as it were, from Newport News.
You know, what's interesting with TCNJ and with a lot of teams in the Njac is so many of these kids who are now teammates, they grew up playing against each other in high school and in club soccer just because of how close and how small the state is. And I was reading an article in the Asbury
called, by the way,
Park Press.
Kick.
I was reading an article in the Asbury Park Press where one of the O'Keefe sisters out of Middletown North High School, Red Bank, New Jersey, had played against Panasuk in high school. And, you know, they obviously were rivals.
I was going to say, sometimes that's hard to deal with. By the way, Panasonic staring straight into the sun with this right now.
Both members of the Shore Conference, one of the better conferences in the state, but
Nice.
so many of these kids were rivals, and to form the chemistry that they've now had to be able to get to this point this year really shows a lot just about the competitiveness and just the culture of this program.
I'm going to throw it in the corner. Cook's going to go to work in the corner. Though she gets it actually stolen quickly from her by Amelia Curtis. Nice job defensively there by Curtis, who kicks it up ahead to Butler. Back. Oh, but Ava Curtis is clear, bounces off of Zimmerman, but Ava Curtis quick enough to get back for it, and she is a master dribbler. She will come up the field, and she'll put a foot into it trying to get it upfield for her Lions, but they don't have the numbers up front right now against this Captain's defense. It's 4-on-6 as more numbers come into play. Nice cross there by O'Keefe. Long shot coming. I think that just shows you a little bit of the desperation from TCNJ as Butler shot there. If they're going the other direction, that's a brilliant shot, forcing the goalie to find it in the sun. But it's an easier one in this direction. As back into the game for the for the Captains comes Emily Tallada. This lead holds. We're going to see Ryan Davidson get another chance in this game. One of the few seniors on this team, along with graduate Riley Cook, and of course their goalie, Haley Iser.
And that youth tells you that, obviously we've got some big losses after this season, but they're certainly going to be a contender yet again next year. I mean, Smith, an All-American forward, is still a young player.
They'll lose Tallada as well.
Question is, do they come back and use that extra year?
Yeah, Tallada's listed as a senior, so she could have an extra year from the pandemic still in the bank, as it were.
That's obviously a personal choice whether
absolutely
will use that fifth year or not. But
tried to spring Cook there, but it was a little too far away, so it'll be a free kick, and we'll get a substitution here for the Lions. Into the game comes Robichaud again, and she will. Well, we didn't see Hobbs in the game. We missed that. We've seen her, just didn't mention it. Sarah Hobbs in the game. 16 minutes left to go. It's right back on the foot of a Captain's player. Cook's now got it. Oh, wow. Nice little dribbling move there. Cox did try to get the Zimmerman there, but passed it behind Zimmerman, so it's a turnover. 15:40 remaining.
By the way, it wasn't just Sarah Smith, but Harrigan's also listed technically as a senior with Tallada, so it'll be interesting to see. What do they choose to do next year? Do they come back and try to go back-to-back? Or will this be it for them as well?
15.5 minutes to go in this national championship. Captains lead 2-0. Left foot Smith, and it's an easy save for Panasonic. Of course, the two All-Americans have accounted for the 2 goals in this game. Cook with an assist and a goal on the penalty kick, and Smith the goal off of Cook's corner kick earlier. With 15 minutes left to go, Lions looking for their first. Go to the far side with it, looking for the cross, still carrying, and finally going to force a corner kick. First one of the half here for TCNJ as Lindsay O'Keefe forced that issue. Coming over to take that corner will be Amelia Curtis, as the Lions have a sub coming in Pascarella. Good time to get her back on the field. She replaces
Nerva will come out.
Thank you.
Pascarella's got 7 goals in a year. Vieira's the team leader of 9.
That was a good spot. Long shot coming, blocked out front. So the service wasn't bad. Kind of provided an opportunity, but haven't been able to capitalize on it as of yet. It's in the corner. 4 Captains around 1 Lions player, and that's going to result in what you probably could have expected in CNU getting the ball. 14 minutes left. 6 saves for Christopher Newport in this game. 3 saves for TCNJ. Cross doesn't get anywhere as it's picked out of the air by Slater.
Nice job by Slater, too. Again, a true freshman with a big roll in the back and has owned it all year.
Cook just boots us towards the middle of the field. Ava Curtis brings it down. Been really impressed with her play this weekend.
Dangerous
And that's
foul on Ing.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. And I think she's literally – yeah, Ing's going to pick up an obvious yellow here as that was an unnecessary foul.
Unnecessary, aggressive. Obviously, the
and
bad pass coming out of the back kind of led to that because they were so desperate to
she
regain
rolled
possession.
up her ankle here.
Yeah, there's no need for this. And Zimmerman
bent it the wrong way, too. It's her right ankle. We already have a sub ready for her to come in. Ing, just frustration here. And yellow card assessed. Actually, I believe that's our first yellow card for a player in the entire women's weekend. We did have one to the coaching staff,
which
TCNJ
actually
yesterday.
Joe Russo picked up the yellow yesterday. It was
it automatically goes to the coach.
First yellow he has ever gotten in his career in more than 660 games.
I think he earned it, though. I think there was a disagreement about something.
I mean,
you
didn't
seem
go
that
off,
frustrated.
You couldn't go off in a retirement without at least one card.
Good call.
It's funny. I've had more cards playing in adult leagues in the last 5 years than Coach Russo has.
That was one thing I never accumulated in my career.
I've earned every one.
Long kick in, and the Lions handle it, as obviously the captains are not pressing up too much. They're more concerned about what is considered one of the more difficult leads to hold, a 2-goal lead in the game of soccer. 13 and a half minutes left, though. Captains have played well. Cook's coming back into the defensive role, which is the least surprising thing to see out there. She does that often. Smith plays it back to Cox. Cox will maintain and try and get it outside to Tolado, who misplays that and then keeps it from going out of bounds. And wow, look at that. And then the boot up by Savage keeps it from going out as well. But the Lions get back the ball with 13 to go here, and the time dwindling on a chance to try and send their coach off in grand style.
Wide open on the left side if they can find her.
It was a little late. That's just a solid tackle. Two players coming to the ball at the same time. It was Blake and Robichaux, and Robichaux could not get the ball on her foot there.
Pass,
see it again.
You can see it right here. It was a little slow.
Oh, Robichaux actually got there first.
The pass was too slow. There wasn't a lot of pace on it.
No, I'm sorry. Blake got it first.
And because of that, Robichaux couldn't be led onto the attempt there, which TCNJ, that was their best opportunity they've had in this half.
Beagle into the game. Smith taking a seat for the captains, and for the Lions, it is O'Brien who leaves the field, as now the Lions have kind of their 1-2 punch up top back again. And Coppola and Pasquarella. Long shot coming in from Amelia Curtis is an easy handle for Iser. 2-0. Captains 12 minutes away from a possible national championship here against TCNJ.
And if the Lions fail to come back here, it'll be their 5th runner-up in the program's history against 3 national championships.
Yeah, in their first 6 visits to the championship weekend, they were 8-3 in those visits. In the last 6, now 7, they are 3-6. I'm sorry, 3 and double check my numbers. 3-6, I was right.
Don't doubt yourself, Dave.
All those championships coming early on in those runs, 93, 94, and 2000. Of course, 93 was the 4th year the program existed.
It's also a very different sport back then.
Absolutely.
I mean, there were far fewer programs in Division III back then, which also meant a far smaller field. So if you were great, not only did you have a chance to win a title, you had to go through less teams to get there. That all kind of changed around the turn of the century, though, which is when TCNJ won its last title in 2000.
Long kick here by Butler.
But they still have been able, throughout this Russo run, been able to maintain every year.
Oh, yeah. No,
every year being in the tournament, and almost every year getting to at least the second weekend.
They have a D3 NCAA Division III tournament record, 70 wins in program history.
Which is incredible when you consider Messiah, how many national titles that they've had, and William Smith, the success that they've had.
Yeah. Of course, countless Njac titles. They're synonymous. 31 consecutive NCAA appearances. 20 of the last 26 Njac titles, including the last 4 straight, have been to TCNJ.
NJCU, the school I work for, scored 1 goal ever against TCNJ. Yeah. I told Coach Russo that stat. he didn't know it.
I think he did. He was just being kind.
He might have been. He might have been being humble there. But quite frankly, it just goes to show. And that's, I mean, they do that traditionally to most schools in the NJAC. They shut everybody down. Their defense has always been that good.
Under 10 minutes to play. Iser, that walk up to the ball is getting worse. 10 minutes, and she still puts a heck of a boot into it. Under 10 to play in there in the national title is another collision by Ying into another player, and she's going to get at least chatted with, I think, by the official. As she came in hard. I don't think that's a cardable offense, but when you've already had it, it's going to draw attention.
And we saw last
night.
Here
it again.
Watch the contact here.
No, that was not. That was later than I thought it was.
She did kind of lunge into her. I mean, we saw last night a red card in the Chicago and Connecticut game. I mean, I take that back. I'm sorry. It was the Washington Lee game. So many games yesterday. Washington Lee and Connecticut game.
Yes. Under 9 minutes to play here, by the way. Into the corner. Beagle gets a foot on it, and then they're going to call a push on Beagle. And she got it by pushing the player to the ground.
And we both thought, by the way, that was kind of a questionable.
Yeah, unfortunately, that second card I don't think was as warranted as the official. I don't know.
It's hard. I mean, by this
there
point,
isn't one person I have met who thought, on any perspective, understood that card. But moving on.
I mean, here the Lions are. They got to throw everything at it.
Oh, absolutely. Point. No, you got to go everywhere now. It's 8:15 remaining in the season, and you're down 2 goals. And while it's the toughest one to defend, 2-goal leads, you don't get them very quickly. You can't get them back in 30 seconds all that often. And that's going to be a tripping foul called on O'Keefe. And you're not going to get them back when you have fouls like that, allowing the leading team to scrub off clock time by setting up a free kick. Already lost 10 seconds since the whistle. By the time she's kicking it, it's about 20 to 25 seconds. Beagle will head it and go into the corner, which is where she would love to be with the ball to waste some more clock. Goes out of bounds for a throw-in. And so now the subs come in, and Ryan Davidson, the senior, heads out and will give Riley Cook a break and a much-deserved. Nope, it wasn't supposed to be Riley Cook. It was supposed to be Beagle.
Yeah,
never mind.
You'd like to have Cook on the field.
Maybe for the championship, sure.
Just kind of earns it a little bit.
By the way, interestingly enough, Pasquarella is out of the game for the Lions. And we'll double check who's into the game, as it might be the Lions kind of saying enough's enough. Is Cook. Well, this is the other reason you want. I was going to say the other reason you don't want her out. She can do this.
Yes.
And this is killing clock.
Well, this is what you teach youth soccer. You take it to the flag and burn some clock. She did have an opening window towards the goal. Should she have looked for a third?
Agreed.
What's interesting about her is
she's doing it again.
She's the captain of the team, but she's a very quiet leader. She's the type of player that Coach Gunnarsson was telling me will go out and run with other players early in the mornings prior to a training session. And he was telling me that really the biggest difference between her game, Cook's game last year and this year is just her commitment to other stuff off the field, including the way she eats, her diet, her physical fitness. And when I asked her, do you think she has a future in soccer afterwards? And obviously the answer is yes, if she chooses to. He thinks she actually may choose running as her next athletic endeavor because she likes it so much.
Free kick here for the Lions. They're going to stop the clock because the captain's booted the ball downfield. 5:55 remaining here in this national championship. The Lions trail 2-0. And they will get a kick here from about 35 yards out. As the captain's fans come to their feet. Unfortunately, TCNJ fans have had little to cheer about here in this second half especially. We'll see if this will be a direct shot or a service. I believe this is Coppola on the ball. Nope, it is Amelia Curtis. She's going to line drive it into the box, and it's chested down by Savage. Into the corner. Cross coming into the 6. Headed on. Not towards the goal, though. and then eventually cleared. Still not out of danger. Curtis, shot, blocked out in front despite a diving goalie. Just missed an opportunity in front to put the first one in. The rebound popped out. The cross came over, and it just missed the foot. Just missed the opportunity.
2-3 different opportunities here. The header, no. The second ball in the middle cleared. That couldn't find the goal. And then we're going to see this rebound.
It's Robichaud.
One chance, no.
Just missed
couldn't get a toe poke. Would have been ideal there, Dave, but that might be the last opportunity of that magnitude for this Lions squad.
Vasquez with the pass over there, and Robichaud couldn't get her foot there in time. And under 5 minutes now, as running over to get it is Panasuk. And she will boot it upfield. And looking at the Lions bench, it seems like they know the inevitable here. As Panasuk's kick goes off to the right, Lions run onto it though, able to get to it and putting numbers up now. Trying to force the issue in the box. Coppola comes over. Cannot get to the ball though. Robichaud is going to come to the near side. She's not going to get there. She'll hand it off to Ng. Ng's kick is going to force her to go backwards now. And she's got to use Panasuk as well with 4:15 remaining in the title game. Butler can't get to that one.
It's
now to Curtis.
It's been 8 years, by the way, since the winner of the national championship has a 2-goal margin in the final game. 2013 when William Smith beat Trinity 2-0.
Stepping into this one is Vasquez. Cannot maintain possession, though. D'Ampiero can't get there either. Butler trying to do something with it as we're 3:45 away from the end of this game. The sun no longer a factor. Ng steps up, passes it up into the middle. It's Vasquez again, sandwiched between captains and loses the ball, but the ball kicked out of bounds will give the Lions a throw in with 3:30 remaining. Down 2, they still need 2 goals. Kicked out of bounds, another Lions throw in. Reminder, if the captain's sub, the clock will be stopped because they've got the lead. Ng with the ball. Lions are just going in circles right now. They can't get any momentum. They got to switch fields. 3:05 remaining in the contest, and finally they will switch fields here with Curtis.
Well, it's partially because of the attitude of the forwards.
Nice through ball, but can't get it there in time. Yep.
Look at who's in part of the defensive unit here. You got Davidson, you got Cook. They're all up pressing high and making it very difficult for TCNJ to string together consecutive passes.
Under 3 minutes to play here in the national championship.
Everybody buys in.
Absolutely.
You're seeing the outcome.
You heard a couple of coaches, and they're still in the conversations with their programs about how it's an 11-man defense and it starts at the top. And you see that here with Christopher Newport especially. 2:30 remaining. Another clear this time by Riley Cook, who's on, no, that wasn't. Sorry, it was 18. Real, who was on the right side. Cook is still in the middle. 2:15 away. Long service to the top, headed out by Slater. Now Cox has and just boots it downfield. 2 minutes left. Panasuk's going to come out of the box to play this.
That burns at least another 10, 15 seconds.
Valuable time. Curtis serves it up towards the top of the box. Can't do anything with it. Stepping onto it is Vasquez. She gets depossessed by Davidson. 1:40 remaining in the national title, and Christopher Newport can start to feel it. They've got a finger on the trophy.
One more time, seeing you just dumping it down the flank, burning another 15, 20 seconds.
Now CNU's got their hands on the trophy, really. 1:23 to go. Lions desperate to try and get at least one here and not get shut out. Feet up ahead. Vasquez, the long shot over the crossbar, and with 1:05 left, that's a lot of time that's going to come off before the goal kick here, and you can start writing this one on the trophy. Christopher Newport's going to win their first national championship in women's soccer. And just the second program ever as the clock is stopped at 51.3 left.
And it's going to spoil what was otherwise a amazing storyline of Coach Joe Russo and potentially sending their legendary coach off into retirement with one final win.
I'm going to reset the clock here. Our official in the middle wishing. Well, I think they were going to reset it. Katie McCormick setting it to 52 seconds. And Iser line drives this goal kick and gets flicked on by Cox up ahead to Cook. 47 seconds left. Cook's not looking to score here. She's just looking to run things out. Comes across the D3 logo. He's got 3 defenders. Has an unbelievable ability to get away from trouble. Gets it over to Davidson, who's going to get it over to Lotta. That's pretty much going to ice it. 32 seconds left. It's keep away for the captains. 25 seconds left. They were here in 2018, lost in the semifinals. Have been looking at this ever since, as it'll be a corner kick to finish things off. 12 seconds left. Captains and Christopher Newport are going to do it. Your 2021 Division III Women's Soccer National Champions, the Christopher Newport Captains, who get the 2-0 win over TCNJ.
Congratulations to the captains. This is something they had been building towards, Dave, for a number of years. And, you know, for the seniors, the super seniors, the fifth-year seniors in Cook and Iser, this is the reward for coming back for a 5th year. And there you see TCNJ. What a great year for the Lions. Coach Russo, it'll end up being just the 67th loss of his career.
Yeah.
But this will leave a sour taste as he goes into retirement.
Hugging his players. There's only one team that ends up winning it all at the end of a season, and this season there's just one undefeated team. It is Christopher Newport, who will finish 22-0-1. And the Lions suffer their first loss of the season, will finish 21-1-2. As you take a look at some of the assistant coaches, I believe that's Bob Turner for TCN. I don't know if that was actually Turner for TCNJ. As you see the captains getting their swag, as it were, as champions. They will be presented the trophy momentarily. Just a heads up, we will stay with the trophy presentation when Ira and I are done here. We will stay with it in the broadcast as you see both teams get their trophies, both as a team and as individuals. And you will see the celebration here on NCAA.com. A reminder, coming up at 7 o'clock, we'll have the men's national championship game. It'll be a NESCAC battle between Amherst and Connecticut College. That is at 7 o'clock on NCAA.com, right here from Greensboro. So we hope you'll come back for that. But in the meantime, the captains of Christopher Newport are national champions. They had 20 shots, 7 of them on goal today. Well, I'm sorry, 14 shots, 5 of them on goal. It was 20 shots for TCNJ, 7 of them on goal.
And none of them
a threat.
Find a way in, and a lot of that's because of the work of not only the defense, but Haley Iser.
Yeah.
5th year. Well, she goes out with 7 saves to help cement a national title.
It was a bit of the senior show for the captains, not surprisingly. Riley Cook with a goal and an assist. It was Smith with what ends up being the game-winning goal off of Riley's corner kick. And, of course, Iser, who, as her name kind of sounds, iced it up in the back and kept TCNJ from getting any serious looks at the goal.
First time in this entire NCAA run that Cook did not have the game-winning goal.
Yeah, she had 5 coming in. Well, she was involved with it, right?
She had the assist. She was involved nonetheless. Now, you got to feel good for Jamie Gunderson, though. First year as the head coach, because you don't count the spring. They didn't play. First year as a head coach, and he wins a national title in year number 1.
For as good as the programs are, Christopher Newport, again, track and field for women's lacrosse, or for women's track and field, the only other team to win a national championship, first one to win it in tournament style, is this women's soccer program. And TCNJ will be honored as well. Again, we'll sign off and let you enjoy the trophy presentation for both teams. As you see, a very emotional TCNJ team. Hats off to them. Tremendous season. Yes, they came up short, but they deserved to be here, and they just ran into a captain's team that was on another level. For Ira Thor and our entire production crew, including David Harris at the chief of that, I'm Dave McHugh. Thank you for tuning in to this Division III Women's Soccer Championship game and championship weekend from Greensboro, North Carolina. The captains of Christopher Newport are your national champions for Division III Women's Soccer. Congratulations to the captains. We'll look forward to seeing if they can do it again next season. And we'll see you hopefully for a 7 o'clock men's championship game here on NCAA.com. Have a good day, everybody.
Wesleyan University, number 26, Grace Devaney. From TCNJ, number 13, Jess Hall. TCNJ, number 8, Amelia Curtis. TCNJ, number 11, Gianna Coppola. From Christopher Newport, number 8, Emily Talata. Christopher Newport, number 00, Haley Iser. Christopher Newport, number 1, Ellie Cox. The all-tournament selection, most outstanding defensive player, Christopher Newport, number 7, Jill McDonald. The all-tournament selection, most outstanding offensive player, Christopher Newport, number 19, Riley Cook. Let's give all of these outstanding student athletes a round of an applause. Now let us recognize and congratulate the 2021 NCAA Women's College Cup National Champion. Excuse me, let us go ahead and recognize the 2021 NCAA Women's College Cup runner-up. TCNJ. From TCNJ, Anna Helmer. From TCNJ, starters, number 00, Haley Iser. Number 1, Ellie Cox. Correction. From the College of New Jersey, number 1, Anya Helmer. Number 2, Deanna D'Imperio. Number 3, Christina Ing. Number 4, Yvonne Vasquez. Number 5, Ava Curtis. Number 6, Victoria D'Imperio. Number 7, Sophia Alves. Number 8, Amelia Curtis. Number 9, Ava Gray. Number 10, Sophia Vieira. Number 11, Gianna Coppola. Number 13, Jess Hall. Number 14, Lindsay O'Keefe. Number 15, Allie O'Keefe. Number 18, Gianna Minerva. Number 19, Julia Ock. Number 20, Emma Pasquarelli. 21, Jess O'Brien. Number 23, Sarah Hobbs. Number 24, Rachel Robichaux. Number 28, Claudia Flint. Number 32, Nikki Butler. Number 98, Kate Walsh. And number 99, Alex Panashuk. Coached by Coach Joe Russo. Coach Bob Turner. Coach Catherine Lindaker. Coach Erica Keel. And Coach Paul Blodgett.
Okay, I see him around the center, that's why I asked.
Now the captains from the runner-up TCNJ, please accept your trophy. Now let us recognize and congratulate the 2021 NCAA Women's College Cup National Champion. Finishing with a record of 22-0-1. Christopher Newport is coached by head coach Jamie Gundenson. Will the team please come forward to accept the team trophy?
Yes.
And now individual players. 00, Haley Iser. Number 1, Ellie Cox. Number 2, Caroline Davis. Number 3, Natalie Swarm. Number 4, Tina McCarthy. Number 5, Emma Ritchie. Number 6, Caroline Suter. Number 7, Jill McDonald. Number 8, Emily Tallada. Number 9, Lauren Fitzpatrick. 11, Abby Harrigan. 14, Sabrina Gillis. Number 17, Sarah Smith. Number 18, Sarah Reel. Number 19, Riley Cook. Number 20, Molly Beagle. Number 24, Hannah Karras. 25, Jessica Zimmerman. Number 30, Nia Savage. 31, Ryan Davidson. 33, Reese Slater. 35, Hannah Calliott. Number 36, Jaya Daniel. And 38, Maddie Blake. And now will the team please come forward to... Thank you so much, crowd. And now the coaches.
I like her.
Head coach, Jamie Gunderson. Sean Killian. Brian Liebert. Kyle Soul.
We've said it too big. Thank you.
All right, then, get loud as we have Christopher Newport come forward to accept the team trophy. Presenting the championship trophy is the chair of the Division III Women's Soccer Committee, Sean Sullivan. Congratulations to Christopher Newport University. Let's give all these outstanding student athletes a round of applause. Division III women's soccer. The NCAA thanks our host, UNC Greensboro, and the town of Greensboro once again. Congratulations to Christopher Newport University for winning the 2021 NCAA Division III Women's Soccer National Championship by a final score of 2-0. Have a safe trip home, and we look forward to seeing you next year in Salem, Virginia.
Blue. Way to go, Alex. Well done, Blue. It's all right. Wow, are you kidding me? Good season. It's good. It's all good.
Yeah. Oh, Loaming. Here, she called me spring roll. What's up with that? It's banana.
I don't see anything.
You literally can't. There's zero chance of running in. Like, you're not even allowed to go down here. What have you got? Timmy. Where's Timmy? I wasn't here for it. They told us to go all the way around the building. All the way around the building. No, they said we were going down here. They walked it off. So, I'm not listening. I live there.